Good morning, Vic here on Vic Saga 68. Um, Dealing with this thing of self restoration, uh, body and mind. And hey, look at this my coffee cup and sweatshirt match. So I'm going to have a sip here before I start. Good coffee. Well, any rate, yeah, this is a rough season for many people. This is right in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And it's often, as in was in my case, great when you're young, when you're a little kid. Uh, ah, yeah, that really was magical. At any rate, this is an interesting time for the older folks. Um, it's more than interesting. It's really, really rough for some, and really appreciate that. And don't want to dwell much on that because it's rough. That's all there is to it. Any rate, this has to do with our meeting of the trying to maintain, trying to restore that little balance in between maintenance and restoration. Can you actually get a little stronger? Can you be a little more flexible? Yeah. The last couple of days for myself, little too much going on, and I didn't have enough time for myself, and I could feel it, uh, especially with my knees. And yesterday, then finally got only about a half an hour in, and yet that's enough. That's what I'm really advocating. We don't have time necessarily. We probably do, but we don't want to give more than uh, half an hour, hour and a half. If I get to the Y, and I recommend if you go to the Y, as a few of my friends do also, um, yeah, you can put in two and a half hours easily with going through the procedures, going through the machines, and then hopping into that pool, and then the jacuzzi, and you've come out and you really want to hear that music from Rocky as you um, walk out because you feel so on top of it. At any rate, the normal run, let's say, I was been preaching that Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing for exercise and trying to get a little bit of the everyday 20 minutes, 10 minutes for the flexibility thing. Yeah, so that's how this goes, but the mind is a big thing. Uh, on like Thanksgiving, I was very thankful for, well, first of all, my health. And secondly, I could see that there were a lot of people really not, they couldn't recognize it being a time of looking for things to be thankful for. And because they couldn't see those, they got really depressed. And then that depression leads into this interval in between the big one, the Christmas. So, at any rate, whew, if you've got some handle on your health, you've got everything. You've got the world. Any rate, that's what this is about. And I'm proud. I figure envision talking to two of you out there. Okay, that's probably all. That's you. Spend a couple of minutes, and yeah, you got the gist, and you're going to move on to something more entertaining. This isn't necessarily entertaining. Okay, what I was going to show you, and what I had said I would, was the Cyclops. What the heck's a Cyclops? Well, it's this thing that is on my bike. Yeah, this is my TV, exercise, you name it, kind of room. Okay, and so I've got some things, that are in here for my health and what I use. Now, which brings up an interesting thing, because there I'm moving that toward the door. I don't use that. Well, a, uh, a a woman who lived with me for a while did use that. Okay, and I didn't find it. I don't know what to say. It just didn't work for me. Yeah, okay. That thing, when things don't work for you, um, that's kind of an interesting situation, because if, this thing doesn't work for you, all right, then you move it out, all right? Uh, and you can't let that bother you. You can't let that be a big deal. Talking to an 80-year-old, she was talking about yoga. Yoga has never worked for me. And she quickly added, you have to have a good instructor. Boy, isn't that the key. Yeah, if you have a mediocre or an instructor who's not great, it really messes you up. It's painful. It's a painful experience that you don't build on. So what the heck was that about? I don't know. I never had a good yoga instructor. I've had good other instructors, and I've had really bad other instructors. They should be shot. At any rate, the point is, what I have is what works for me, and that's kind of the key here. Is that if the things I say specifically work for you, oh yeah, okay, like I'm going to show you this Cyclops. If that works for you, good. If it doesn't, don't give it a second thought. It's like the big thing is to search, play around. What other things work for you? Now, I mentioned before that I do find things along the road, okay, and like the Ab Lounger, okay, that was like a freebie. Isn't that neat? And that works both for my back and my front. Okay, but that's not what this is about today. Just wanted to show you specifically the leg thing, all right? And it is in 3 parts. One is the warm-up that I do for with the Cyclops on the bike. The second thing will be leg extensions, knee extensions, leg extensions on that machine. And then the other strengthening thing, that is a strengthening thing, is about lunges. And lunges are lunging, and go into that. Okay, first thing is the Cyclops. The Cyclops is a very simple thing, but it's it's funny how much they charge for these. But at any rate, it's this, your back wheel is on this weighted a wheel that spins, and yet it's it touches that. And the beauty is that when you're on it, doesn't look so great, but when you're on it, it feels just like being on a bike. And so that, and then the other thing is that I like to do that with the, you put your foot in here. The reason that you put your foot in here is because then you, each time you pedal, try it, do it, here we go, each time you pedal, as this is going around, right here you lift, okay? And so as each foot is lifting on the upstroke, pushing forward and then down and then back and then up, you actually have a circle that's going on. And so you The exercise is not just pushing down, but it's lifting up, and it's also pushing forward. So it's a spinning thing. So that works pretty well. So that is my first thing that I do. 5 or 6 minutes. That gets the blood in the knees. Okay, and then after that, then I'm ready for the next event, one or the other. I don't do both of them, and that is this simple mechanism, which is called a leg extension. You hook your foot underneath there. Now you have a nice seat, and I have it by my window so I look out. And so you hook your foot underneath there, and you got them this way, okay? And so like I did yesterday, I did 4 sets of 16, 17 repetitions, all right? And you can vary. When you start out, hardly have anything at all on that, all right? Hardly have any weights at all on that. And it's not to be fooled with, because you can, you'll after 4 sets of 15 repetitions, you'll feel it right away. But after doing the bike, then getting on this, the blood is in your knees, and it makes maximum use of your repetitions. Now this can also be set so that you can also flip it up and do the back of your legs also. And so it's a double. But I really focusing on those complex knees. And so that would be the thing after doing the bike for warm up, 6 minutes. Now you can also use the bike, and I'll do that also for cardio, and that's when you do intervals. You do all sorts of different kinds of things, and maybe the whole thing would be maybe a half an hour on the bike at least, and that's another story. This has to do with strengthening the legs, getting them ready by the quick 6 minute with the Cyclops, then on to this machine, or if you don't have that machine, likely, then you do lunges. Lunges come in 2 varieties. I'll show you maybe. This is a funny mirror, but it's a mirror. And a lunge, when you lunge, that's a lunge, right? Okay, and so you do that, and then you do that, and so you can alternate the lunging, all right? And so do 12 if you can, and then rest 40 seconds, and then another 12, another 12, another 12. So that's one way of doing lunges, and you can hang on to something. What I find kind of beneficial, super beneficial if you can do it, is the walking lunge, all right? And over at the Y, I hate these kids. Young people, they'll lunge a whole length of one of their big rooms, and it's lunge, and they go way down, and they'll take another step way down, another step, and they lunge way, so, and then they get clear to the end, and they'll turn around, and same thing, lunge way down, lunge way down, lunge way down. And so the beauty of this system, where you're walking, the walking lunge, is that you're also developing balance. That's an extra kicker. If you can do the lunge a little bit after a couple of weeks of, let's say after a couple of weeks of doing it, hanging on to stuff and just standing, a standing lunge, then or one step lunge, we'll call it. Then after a couple of weeks of that, then you can go ahead and start walking through the room, lunging. and after a while you can lunge lower and lower. Yeah. It's just horrible, because you'll do it, and you'll see a lot of people doing it. Yeah, the 40-year-olds also, they'll be doing it with weights in their hands, okay? With, at least 15 in each hand, maybe 30 in each hand, okay? Yeah, we used to do lunges with 120 pounds on our shoulders on a bar. Okay, what? Yeah, used to. All right, used to's don't matter whatsoever. So, any rate, I wanted to show you that thing for your legs because they have to stay strong. And when they're strong, you have energy. And this quadricep is kind of important. It's like, boy, one of your primary movers. If that quadricep has gotten weaker and weaker, it's hard to get moving around, and you won't know why necessarily. You're just so devoid of energy, and your weight feels heavy. Oh God, you feel heavy. And all of that has to do with lack of strength. Isn't that something? So, any rate, all right. I've gone on and on here to you two out there. But if you can, you got to have a bike inside somewhere, somehow. And if you can put it on a Cyclops, that's a joy. And that's my message for today. And be happy. You're brave enough. You're brave enough to watch this, okay? And that's significant. That's huge, because you're wanting to maintain and restore and partake in further events in your life, and that's really, really great. So, at any rate, Vic here at Vic Saga 68. Yeah, this is some of the saga, Saga of life. Thanks for watching, especially going this far today, and have a good one. Survive, and maybe enjoy, at least survive the holiday. All right, bye for now.